There are a lot of false information about the coronavirus. These are the facts. People of all ages can be affected by the coronavirus. However, older people and people with pre-existing medical conditions such as asthma, diabetes, heart diseases are more vulnerable to the disease. It is not for old people alone. Gargling salt and warm water or chewing garlic and ginger cannot prevent the virus. Drinking alcohol, hot lemon, palm oil or chloroquine will not kill the virus. The virus cannot be transmitted through mosquito bites. Antibiotics do not work against the viruses. Antibiotics work only against bacteria. Boiling pineapple peels, lime and ginger does not kill the virus. Putting raw onions in rooms will not ward off the virus. Using or spraying Dettol, special oils, and water all over your body cannot kill the virus. There is no scientific evidence that cooking, drinking, or eating any of these is an effective treatment for coronavirus. Do not self-medicate and take responsibility by sharing only verified messages from health authorities such as NCDC, Federal Ministry of Health, and WHO.
Alright, a great good morning to you and many thanks for joining us on today's edition of your one-stop breakfast show, Daybreak Africa on television Nigeria. My name is Elvis Oga and I'd like to say good morning to you, good morning Abuja, good morning Nigeria, good morning Africa, and good morning Messenger.
Good morning everyone, my name is Messi Joe. I hope you all slept fine and we're doing very well this Friday morning. It's TGIF.
TGIF. You asked me earlier and I was telling you, yeah, I slept fine even though the night was quite short because I slept late and woke up early.
Because we have to be here for you.
Quickly, let's talk about the question we asked yesterday and the responses we got from our amazing viewers.
All right, yesterday we asked the question, who gifted the Statue of Liberty to the US, and we had a couple of comments. I'll take this comment from Gracious Samuel. She said, France, the Statue of Liberty was a gift of friendship from the people of France to the people of the US.
Wow.
That's nice. From our top fan here, Comrade Patrick Eza, he mentioned France, and that was correct as well. And then we have explanatory here from Ade Dela. He said the French sculptor Frederic Auguste, but wow, wonderful. And the people of France officially presented the completed Statue of Liberty to the United States Minister to France in Paris in July 4th, 1884. It's actually 1886.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember I was talking about how that would have actually strengthened their friendship or their bilateral relationship.
I know that. All right, that does it for our comments from the question of the day yesterday. So thank you all for dropping your comments for us, and that would be it for that segment.
Okay, we've actually been having this promo concerning our guest who will be having on the show today.
Yes.
We were unable to mention it on the program live yesterday, but we actually put it across all our platforms. The moment is actually very close by. We're talking about a narrative of the experience of the alleged Benue Index coronavirus case. The person of Susan Lawani, who will be joining us via Zoom this morning. But before then,
let's go on a break and be back.
Hello everyone. This is Susan Idoko Okpeni Lawani. I am pleading with everybody to please tell Nigerian government to let me go. This is my 16th day of incarceration. What have I done? What have I done? Benue State lied on me that I have COVID-19. I just got the result yesterday. After 15 days, I just got the result yesterday. And the result is a stage play with different dates, birthdays, different recordings, which they themselves know and try to put right. That's left to them. But please, I want to beg Nigerians. I want to beg Nigerians to also beg President Buhari or Shibanjo, the health minister Osage, and whoever is in charge to please let me go out of this place. I am tired. I am fed up. I am exhausted. I don't know what to do anymore. I don't know why they're keeping me. That they want to treat me.
All right, welcome back from that video break there. That was Susan Lawani Okpe, a video she shared, one of those periods where she was reportedly isolated after testing positive to COVID-19.
You know, I came across a clip of that video a couple of times back, especially when the news was everywhere. And there was this particular caption that was given to it by a particular publication, and you just called it isolation, but the publication called it incarceration. And I think a couple of times we've seen her accuse the Nigerian government of holding her incarcerated against her wish and all.
Yes.
All right. Okay. It's on her now, and we'd like to hear from you. Good morning. Can you hear us?
Good morning, Susan. Can you hear us?
You're friendly though, but I can hear you.
Okay, I think it's coming up now. And no thanks to the network. That's how it is around here. Okay, we just saw a video from you, and then there's actually a whole lot. Your case at the Benue State COVID-19 Committee sparked series of controversy across the nation, and we are here to talk about that this morning. We just want you to give a general overview or a little bit of the tales that actually happened, what transpired, and then how did the government come inside when it had to do with your case.
On your program,
Okay.
like they addressed me, Susan Idoko Okwe. I'm Susan Lawani.
Okay.
But I'm sure the story is all over, but from the horse's mouth, I think it will sound sweeter or better, like
Yeah,
people say. Yeah, 22nd of March, 2020, traveled to Nigeria, via Lagos, because I lost my mom. I came for the burial. I didn't have any reason to come because it was already COVID. COVID news was all over the place, and sincerely, me and my family have isolated ourselves for 5 days. I was to come with some of my children, but I told them, please, because of the situation, don't come. So let mom go on her own and honor her late mom. And then I put a closure to it like we would do in Africa anyway. When my dad died, I wasn't there. So thinking that my mom would die and not be there, I did everything possible. If I told you that I bought 3 different tickets to be able to get to Nigeria, just to honor my mom. Coming into Nigeria, jet lag, because I was going from Heathrow to local airport. I mean, all the airports really in London to be able to get a flight. I was jet lag. I'm human being. Came to Nigeria, 22nd, flew from the same Lagos the same day to Abuja. The following day, we had to travel with my brother, with about 5 hours journey to Makodi. And knowing that I traveled for almost 24 hours the previous day. I was jet lagged. We had a family meeting with 13 of my family members in my elder brother's house in Makodi.
Okay.
Sincerely, the following day, I couldn't even get out of bed because I was so tired. Till evening, I didn't get out of bed. When my younger sister came in, I said, look, I'm really tired. Can you please get a good hospital for me to have myself just checked to see? That was all. Yeah. And we went to Grace Cottage Hospital in Makodi there. Yeah. I'm sure those in Makodi know the hospital. She told me that was one of the best hospitals. Got there, had met with the doctor, registered myself in there for the first time. And that was it. The doctor said, oh, a joke. Oh, you're coming from a pandemic area. I said, but nothing is wrong with me. Really. Just I'm jet lagged. I'm tired. My joints are killing me. So, okay, we'll keep you here for observation. He did a test. Took my temperature. And he said, oh, madam, your temperature is a bit high. Sincerely speaking, he didn't show me the temperature gauge, but I believe him anyway because I think he's a doctor. He said, your temperature is a bit high. I said, it's only joint pain, please. Well, we're going to keep you here and observe you. I said, no problem. Gave me a room there, stayed there, paid my money, and that was it. They came in, gave me some analgesic, like they said, intravenous injection. Just for the tiredness. In the evening, just about 10 in the evening, because I got to the hospital around 7 in the evening. Around 10 when they came to check on me, I was already sweating and it was okay. I was even joking with them. What magic do you people perform here? All the joint pain and everything is gone. So, madam, we'll still keep you here till tomorrow to just observe you. I said, okay. Following day, which was, I went to the hospital on the 24th, yeah. Came in 22nd, 23rd, we had a meeting, 24th, I went to the hospital. On the 25th, the doctor came in and said, oh, we'll take your temperature again, which is normal procedure. I know they do in hospital. I said, oh, your temperature is a bit still up. I said, but I don't have fever, there's nothing wrong. Even the pain is gone. He said, okay, normal procedure that we do here, because of this COVID thing, is to call some people from the Benue State Ministry of Health to do a swab to check for COVID-19. I said, well, I have had checked from London, but you can still do it, no problem. Innocently. That's why I told them. I didn't know it was a plan and a scam. I now know it was a plan. They did. 2 men came. Unlike me, the person that I am, I'm a teacher, I'm a pastor, I'm a mentor. I will always verify everything. Before you tell me anything, you must give me your ID and introduce yourself to me. But I believed the doctor over there. When they came in, they said they are from the Ministry of Health. They came in with something which is different from all the ones I had in Abuja anyway. They swept through my throat, put the cotton like cotton bud through my throat, and my nose. And I asked the doctor, when is this result coming? Saying 24 hours. I said, no problem, because I can't be paying this much money here. I've come to bury my mom. I do not want to spend cash in hospital. I want to bury my mom. And we're joking about it. They left. 26, the doctor came and said, where's the people? They said, oh, madam, the result hasn't come yet. I said, doctor, I don't want to stay. I want to go home because I'm okay. He said, no, madam, you have to wait patiently for them to bring the result, which I waited. On the 27th, in the morning, they hadn't come. 27th evening, came to my room, was looking somehow worried and, somebody who is concerned or somebody who is agitated. What's the problem, doctor? Oh, madam, they just told me that your result had come out and you are COVID positive. I said, what? He said, yes. I said, okay, where's the result? I don't have it. That's what he said. Why would you tell me I have COVID and you don't have a result and you're coming to tell me verbally? He said they just called them because there's no light in Makodi to print out the result. I said, okay. In fact, in my mind, I said, this must be a joke somewhere. It must be a joke. Lo and behold, as he left, I said, please, before you tell me anything, go and get the result and bring for me. Let me see. I'm learned. I need to see what you're talking about. He left. I have this doctor friend of mine who always comes to me, who is a very good friend. I don't want to mention his name. He's a doctor. And he now came to me and said, Susan, the governor is having a press conference with your name being mentioned at the first index case of COVID-19 in Benue State. And I went. In fact, almost insane. Ran down the staircase to the doctor who just left my room. Ran down to him and said, what is this? Is this a Nollywood drama or what are you guys doing here?
All right, sorry to
You
cut
just
you
came and
short.
told
Sorry to cut you short, Mrs. Susan. Concerning the hospital where you were, where you went to check yourself because you were feeling somehow after your arrival, the Grace Cottage Hospital. There's an allegation that you might have been paying hundreds of thousands weekly just to remain in the hospital after confirming you had tested positive for the virus. Please, can you shed light on that? It's an allegation. We don't know if it's confirmed, but we want to understand what really transpired.
People told me, because from the video they said that I've stayed there for 2 weeks. My passport, if I can send you my report, my passport copy to see when the stamp was when I came into Nigeria. The day I went to the hospital, I have the card with me that was registered for the 24th when I got to the hospital. So I don't know when I got to the hospital to hide myself there when they tested positive of COVID and I was hiding myself. That's not very true because they are lying. That's lies because I went there on the 24th. The record is there for Nigerians to see. After this interview, I can send you all the copies and you give to anybody in the world. I'll put it on Facebook for people to see the card, how I was registered on the 24th. So if I got there on the 24th, how many days will I be hiding there that I have COVID-19?
So how long exactly did you stay were you in that hospital? And are you saying you're debunking the rumors, the allegations?
I got there on the 24th. The Benue State government removed me with arm on the 27th. They came in the evening on the 27th. While they were doing the announcement, while the doctor told me, the next thing, because when I got angry and I told the doctor this is Nollywood drama, I went upstairs to pick my bag to go. And by the time I was coming down, there were armed men and everybody recording already. The deputy governor was there. The ambulance was there. And I said, this is rubbish. This is Nigerian drama. Except they killed me to remove me. Because there's nothing wrong with me. Now I knew it was a plan, that it was a stage play already by the state government. Because the hospital, I'm very sure, and I will not miss word, I learned the doctor was going to be giving 15 million to announce to the government they got a patient from England who have COVID-19. He has a share in the money that Tom was going to collect.
Did you really confirm that? Is that really very confirmed or very valid statement you're making?
Well, I will confirm it very soon. When we go to court, I will confirm it. I will prove it.
Yeah, probably would love to see evidence of that. I'm sure people watching right now.
See evidence of that. I'm sure people watching right now.
Yes.
Okay, Mrs.
Sorry?
Oh yeah, like from your narration, I actually picked from that you went to that hospital because you must have undergone some stress from the long flight from Heathrow down to Lagos and from Lagos to Abuja, and then you traveled by road to Makurdi, the Benue State capital. At what point did you know that okay, all that has been playing it's a scam? And then I wanted to ask, what do you think was the motive of the whole scam to be actually staged, which you actually laid an allegation against that man? You said you people will prove the evidence at the court and all. Then that's from you just made mention of what the doctor allegedly stand to gain. Why do you think the Benue State government want to make sure they have a COVID-19 case?
It's the monetary value that the government is giving to everybody. The federal government is giving to every state. I learned. Lagos got their own, so Benue State must have their own as usual. So Benue State must prove that they have a COVID patient so that they can also get the share of the loot. Or is it loot or whatever they give to them over there? That's my thought, and that is the truth. Let me tell you, when I got down to the doctor and the MD of the hospital, you know, they were discussing among themselves. You could see, I'm human. I read psychology. I work with youth and children. I read psychology. From their body language and everything, you see, oh, this thing has gone wrong. Madam, we're helping you to fight the government. I say, what fight are you fighting the government on my behalf? You should have told me. If I have COVID, show me the result. Why are you fighting with the government? Why is the government making an announcement about me without me being told? If you have COVID, would they cancel you? If you are sick, is that how it's done? If not for monetary value. I believe Tom wanted to collect the money, but he got the wrong woman. I am too intelligent than him. I'm telling you, I'm not boasting. I'm more intelligent than all the lot of them there. Abonu and Otom. And I would tell you,
that's actually a very witty one. And we would like us to play by the culture, especially with the ethics of our profession and everything.
All right. And speaking about intelligence, Mrs. Susan, I would love to ask this question. During your long period of this isolation period, or perhaps I would say treatment, can you genuinely say, did you feel anything that was related to COVID-19 symptoms during your stay in the isolation center? And if they were giving you treatments, did you take any of these treatments at all during this period?
Analgesic that they gave me from the hospital, they also gave me some, I think later learned it's vitamin C tablet for immune system from the hospital. The day I left that hospital, 27th, till this day, I've not taken any medicine. They didn't treat me for anything, nothing.
So that means you're saying even at the point you were taken from the Grace Cottage Hospital to Benue State University Teaching Hospital, as we've seen in the news, and then down to where you have been transferred from Benue to Abuja Isolation Center, you were not given any medication. Is that what you're saying?
They offered me, not in Makodi, they offered me in Abuja medication, which I said no, because I'm not sick. Why would you treat somebody who is not sick? So that was the other controversy.
And during this period that they gave you all these treatments that you refused to take, you didn't feel down at any point in time? You didn't have any of the COVID-19 symptoms, is what you're saying?
For one day, not one day. I did not sneeze. I mean, that is the most common thing if you have even cold or anything. I did not sneeze for one day.
Wow.
All right, but were you given food? Did you eat anything there, at least? If you didn't take the drugs, you had to survive one way, so probably you ate from the food.
No, I did not eat from them. I did not eat from the hospital. I only ate from my family. And my children here abroad were sending their friends to buy me food from restaurants to be delivered to me. I refused to take anything because I knew. Anyway, you say it's the ethic of your profession. I can prove that in court, that they can kill you.
You asked me a question about court.
Yeah.
She's going to.
I know that to be in my heart and head already. I was not going to take anything from them, and I didn't.
Okay, this is actually getting interesting, even though it's a very sensitive issue we're talking about. But I actually want to see how it play out. The day you were released from the Abuja Isolation Center, how did the news come to you, and then how did you go about it till the point that you were released from the isolation center?
I was with who finished this program. I was sorry because the minister of health, they are all me on phone. This one we call me on phone. This one we call me different people, reporters and all. In fact, I had one reporter, one of the Tom Bond reporters, who told me, I won't mention his name, Charles, who told me, Madam, I hope you still be alive to tell your story. I said, nobody threatens me. You can't threaten me. I have it live and I will tell you any day, whoever he is. He said, I hope you still be alive to tell your story. I said, I will, definitely. Because my faith is in God, and God has told me nothing will happen to me. Look, in fact, I don't want to get angry because when I think of these people, when I think of the leaders in Nigeria, from Oton to the head minister and all of them, I just get angry and get fed up. I come to Nigeria 5 times a year, 6 times a year, but now I've thrown Nigerian passport away, by the way, I'm sorry to say.
All right, sometime in the past, you mentioned that some people were trying to kill you, particularly the thief people. Can you shed more light on that? Probably I didn't get the verbal statement.
No, I mentioned thief people there because the day I was in Makodi, there was this day, one of the nurses, you know, there was this viral video that went when the medical director of the hospital came in and was filming me. against my right. He came in, opened the door and started filming me. And I asked him, why are you filming me without my permission? He said, because they said you refuse treatment. I said, what treatment? Nobody's giving me any treatment and I'm not sick. Identify yourself. He just told me I'm the medical director and these are the nurses. And he banged the door and left. And then another day, my brother was there. This nurse, who is a thief guy, came in and removed the key to my door. I normally will lock my door because I didn't feel safe there at all. I will lock my door. So if my brother comes, I open the door. My brother came in and was talking to me, and he quietly came and removed the key from my door. And when my brother was going out, he said, where's the key to your door? I said, I don't know. So he went out, he said, why did you remove my sister's key? So you can imagine, why did they remove my key? What were they coming to do with me later?
Okay, so it was on that ground that you assumed that they were trying to kill you. Because you didn't feel safe.
Yeah, again, my sister, the following day, one of them came and knocked on my door. I said, I am okay. And the next thing he said, you are looking for publicity, you, this woman. You want to put thief people in trouble. So I said, oh, was there any trouble between the thieves and the Idoma? Because I'm Idoma. I don't know that you just told me. That was what I mentioned. I don't have anything against the thief. My best friend here in England is thief. I left her house 3 days ago. I go out to eat in her house any day I want to eat African food.
All right. Talking about right, you got to a point where your name was actually mentioned. Even from your narration, you said somebody called you and they said the state governor was holding a press conference with your name. And then we all know this thing about the doctors, patients, confidentiality, and everything. So when you heard that your name was being used in the press conference, how did you react to it? And then how do you intend? Are you aligned that to Lilo, or maybe there's a plan you want to do concerning that?
But when I heard that my name was, maybe there's a plan you want to do concerning.
Okay, I think the network is a little bit cranky there, but it's really an engaging one with Susan Lawani. I think she's back. She's back now. Can you hear us?
But the line, the network is bad. Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you now.
I didn't hear the question. I just heard that you said my name was being mentioned. When they told me that my name was being mentioned, I felt that patient confidentiality was broken.
Yes.
That was not the right way. It was broken, and not the right way to go about anything at all. So that angered me the more. Why would they mention my name? That was when the minister came in now. The minister of health came in to say, oh, I know you were not happy of how they treated you in Benue State, so blah, 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 they're going to move me. I said, you people have breached the trust between patient and doctors and whatever it is. Why would you take my name to the press without even letting me know? Why? What's the rationale? Nigerians, ask yourself, why would a state governor take a patient's name and do a press conference without even consulting her? It's my right to disclose my medical history to the world, not anybody else, not even the doctors.
Okay, there was actually a defense to that, saying that they wanted to use that to trace maybe people who must have made contact with you and all. So do you think that's cogent reason enough?
That was a blunt lie. My brother was with me 10 days. For the 10 days I stayed in the isolation in Makurdi, the 10 days I was in Makurdi, my senior brother was always coming there to sit with me every day. Till today, he does not have a headache. All the members of my family, 13 of them, I've had contact with 50 people that I counted, from Abuja, from the airport to the tailor that I took my burial clothes to, and the people who drove me to Makurdi. No single one of them have had a headache till today. It's only one doctor that they wanted to victimize. My doctor friend who came to tell me they were victimizing him. They took him for a test and he came out negative. But I am still positive for the 5 tests they did for me. I am still positive till today. The Nigerian government and Benue State government say I have coronavirus. We will go to court. we will sort that out. And now we involve the British government and WHO, because if somebody have coronavirus and you let them go, what are you saying? Go and kill others. They must provide answers.
All right.
This is actually serious.
So after 58 days in isolation, you're really looking very healthy and fresh, man. So we can say that is that much questions.
We actually have 2 more questions. You remember when I said we were going to ask her how she think maybe every other country must have handled this differently. But before then, in the wake of this, your brother, who is actually somebody who has actually held positions in government before, was presumed to be kind of quiet. Do you think he was just trying to tread with caution because this is family and then people might want to, with sentiment, to eat? Or what have you got to say concerning that?
I think my brother is wiser than them, so he kept quiet. I know the whole story. This time Otom goes to his house to eat. All of them, they do their political thing. I'm not a politician, but they want to get him involved, but he doesn't. He refused to talk, so they were all dumbfounded and looked stupid.
All right, and then lastly, like I said, you were saying this actually, there are so many things that didn't go well with the way they handled the whole situation. Are you trying to look at it like it's more like a Nigerian factor, even though that's not me saying or painting Nigeria bad or in a bad light? Yeah. But what do you think maybe other countries might do differently when a case like this happened? Because they were trying to use your travel history to see what actually they could do concerning the pandemic, which was on ground, but you called it a scam, and from your narration, you may have a valid point. But what do you think other countries must have done differently?
Other countries, other countries would do better. With patient confidentiality, check the history of the patient before you go to press, before you announce anybody on the press. We call something GDR. You don't disclose people's information. But Nigeria, if it's not a scam, just go around. You that just asking me the question. Go around the nations. How many nations, except for those who come out, have announced people who have COVID? And I don't have any. I've always stood my ground that I don't have any, and I don't have. Nigerians should get their acts right. This story have not started. I've not started the chapter yet. Right from the federal government to the state level, they should get their acts right. From the minister of health to the governor, they should get their acts right. Because they're doing a cover-up, or Tom goes to the minister agrees with him, and they all follow the same chain, which is a scam. Until tomorrow, is still a scam in Nigeria. I don't know if anybody have COVID. If they have COVID, like other nations, England, where I stay here, when we have COVID, they show them in the hospital and everything, and how they have been treated. Nigeria is secrecy. It's only lies that you keep in secret. Nigeria should get their acts right.
Well, we can't categorically say that COVID-19 is a scam in the country. COVID-19 is real and is happening in the country, despite probably your case may be one of those unfortunate incidents that probably may have happened. We apologize on behalf of Television Nigeria for whatever you may have gone through, but COVID-19 is real. In the country, we have bigger airlines that have died and have been announced to have had COVID-19. Some recovered and some are still battling with it right now. Anyway, thank you, Mrs. Susan Okpe Lawani, for being with us on our program Daybreak Africa this morning.
Thank you very much.
All right. We hope to have some other time.
Some other time.
All right. That was an engaging moment right there from Mrs. Susan Lawani.
Okay.
The alleged Benue Index case of coronavirus. And she talked a whole lot, starting from what happened and all. And then I was just, so many things were going through my mind. Like you said, it's actually good that you actually put out that disclaimer regarding that COVID
is not a scam.
It's not a scam. It's real. But when she said the government, the Nigerian government should actually get their act right, because there are so many things. So many people have actually been talking about, okay, why they keep putting the figures out without putting the faces like in other countries. You get to see people in the isolation centers and everything. And then when she was talking about the patient's confidentiality, like the government put out a defense that it was more like the government want to use that avenue to trace everybody who must have had contact with her, because elsewhere, I think she's the only person that we've seen the government published.
No, she wasn't actually the only person. Okay. There was the second case of an NDLEA official who came in from Kano State. His name was also published, and Otom still came out to say the reason why we publish their names is so that if you may have had contact with any of these persons, you can come out for testing.
No, she was talking about, she was trying to base her argument on the fact that the government was trying too hard to prove that she has COVID-19.
And she didn't have COVID-19. Even upon all the persons that she came in contact with, but reaching out to them, none of them have tested.
She actually went extreme when she was talking about for the how many days in the isolation center she didn't even sneeze, and then people that have had contact with her till today have not had slight headache. Even her brother, who is actually
has always been with her till now. Like, really. Well, that was a very interesting talk there with Susan Lawani Ope. All right, it's time to go across Africa for news across Africa. Africa.
Welcome to News Across Africa on Daybreak Africa. 5 biracial women born in Congo who were taken away from their black mothers during Belgian rule have filed a lawsuit for crimes against humanity targeting the Belgian state. With their claim, they hope Belgium will finally recognize its responsibility in the suffering endured by the thousands of biracial children known as Métis who were snatched away from their families and placed in religious institutions and homes. Letavares Mujin is one of them, where she said, in quote, "There is no consideration, there is nothing, nothing. We were dumped like that after they broke our entire life. We had no adolescence or childhood, there is nothing. What do we give to our children? The children don't even know where they turn to in case of trouble. We don't know, we are exhausted." End quote. According to the legal document, in all 5 cases, the fathers did not exercise parental authority, and the Belgian administration threatened the children's Congolese families with reprisals if they refused to let them go. Meanwhile, for the first time in Belgium's history, a reigning king expressed regret Tuesday for the violence carried out by the former colonial power when it ruled over what is now Democratic Republic of Congo. In a letter to the president of the DRC, Félix Tshisekedi, published on the 60th anniversary of the African country's independence, Belgium's King Felipe conveyed his deepest regret for the acts of violence and cruelty and the suffering and humiliation inflicted on the Belgian Congo. Burundi's new president has signaled that his government will take the coronavirus pandemic more serious than his dead predecessor, calling the virus the country's worst enemy and announcing new screenings. President Evariste Ndayishimiye on Tuesday said the screenings will be launched wherever clusters of cases are suspected and that soap prices and water bills will be reduced. Predecessor Pierre Nkurunziza died last month of what Burundi's government called a heart attack. His government had been criticized for not taking the pandemic seriously. It kicked out the World Health Organization country director, allowed large campaign rallies ahead of the presidential election in May, and expressed the belief that divine protection will largely suffice for the protection. Some countries and human rights groups have expressed hope that the new president, an ally of Nkurunziza, might break with certain ways of his predecessor. Burundi has 170 confirmed cases of the virus, according to the Africa Center for Disease Control and Prevention. Now, Somalia's national stadium in the capital Mogadishu officially reopened today, years after it was abandoned due to insecurity. A game was also honored today after extensive renovations since 2018, when government took control of the facility. It was adversely affected by the country's civil war. At a point, it was occupied by Al-Shabaab insurgents and later by the African Union mission forces deployed to combat the group. The European Union, Norway, and other development partners supported the reconstruction effort, which began after the facility was officially handed over to the government by AMISOM in 2018. President Mohamed Abdullahi Farmajo was accompanied by top government officials for the reopening ceremony as they watched the game, the first in 3 decades at the venue, according to some reports. Somalia for years now honored international games in Djibouti because of insecurity in the capital. The stadium was captured from Al-Shabaab during an operation to liberate the city in September 2011. AMISOM subsequently used it as a base till the handover. Almost 100 days of closure, the South African passenger rail service is operating again as the country's lockdown restrictions ease up. Passengers' numbers are limited, masks are mandatory, and the trains are sanitized after each trip. South Africa is still heading towards its COVID-19 outbreak peak, and some passengers worry that more could be done to keep them safe. Passengers are encouraged to arrive at stations wearing face masks and observe physical distancing. The country's viral figures continue to shoot up at a point counting for a total of cases in Africa. Opponent of Mali's President Ibrahim Boubacar Keïta on Wednesday sought to end a political crisis by proposing reforms to neuter his authority and hand executive power to a prime minister, although they abandoned a demand for his resignation as a prerequisite for dialogue. Mali has been in political turmoil since a disputed legislative election in March. The lead up to the coup was marred by allegations of vote buying and intimidation and kidnapping of opposition leader Somalia Cisse. Thousands of people took to the streets of the capital Bamako twice in June to demand the immediate resignation of Keïta, saying he had been unable to resolve Mali's numerous crises, while corruption and economic hardship have flourished. Chogo Kola Maiga, a leader of the M5 RFP opposition coalition, on Thursday presented a 9-point proposal that included the appointment of a prime minister by the opposition. Among the group's proposals are the dissolution of the National Assembly, a transitional legislative body, the renewal of members of Mali's highest court, and a government of national unity. Their proposal would effectively curtail Keïta's power to that of a ceremonial head of state. Keïta, 75, was re-elected in 2018 for a second 5-year term. His government has offered concessions, including a unity government, while mediators from the regional body ECOWAS have proposed new legislative elections in disputed constituencies. These have been rejected by the opposition. That is the much we have on News Across Africa. Daybreak Africa continues shortly.
Alright, welcome back. That was Across Africa right there with so many interesting news coming out of African continent.
Yes.
It's still Daybreak Africa on television Nigeria. We'll now take you over to our newspaper review segment where we take a look at some major headlines across some of the national dailies. I would like to begin with you, Mason.
Alright, let's take a look at the Guardian newspaper this morning. The big headline here.
With these headlines, we'll take it from top to the bottom. Buhari drops Oguntande Nsofo, renews 12 non-career ambassadors. That's actually one of those headlines I was telling you about. Yeah, I was actually expecting it today, and here it is. All right, below that, which is still above the nameplate, NLC PDP rejects petrol price hike, demands reversal. You can check that out on the page 6 of this day newspaper. The banner story from this day newspaper for today says, in peace drive, APC caretakers meet Tinubu at the office. PDP screens on the deputy governor, 8 others. And then federal government laments astronomical rise in COVID-19 cases. You can actually check that out on the page 5 of this day newspaper. And that's all from the This Day newspaper this morning.
All right, taking a look at the Punch newspaper this morning. The big story here: federal government warns medical directors over rising death in hospitals. Treat emergency cases on stretchers if there are no bed spaces. Has it really come to that? Minister tells CMD. Coronavirus spreading faster than system can handle. Federal government warns Nigerians. Ondo Commissioner dies. Akeredolu's wife, Aid, test positive for COVID-19. Below the picture nameplate here, Dubai hands over hush puppy accomplice to FBI. That's on page 7 of the Punch newspaper. Beside that, Chinese couple lock up 8 Nigerian employees for 4 months. That's on page 5 to read on that story. Still beside that, passengers with cold malaria wounds bird. That's coming from Aero Contractors. You can get hold of that on page 8 of the Punch newspaper. And above the nameplate, APC caretaker panel visits Tinubu Akande on peace mission. That's on page 10. You can get a hold of that and many more other headlines on the front newspaper of the Punch.
All right, and now let's take a look at the Daily Times, and we'll begin with the banner headline with the caption, NLC rejects increase in price of petrol, demands immediate reversal, its grand mischief, deceit. PDP says APC lacks sympathy. You can get all of that on page 2 of the Daily Times. And then below the picture story, Nigerians must take responsibility in COVID-19 fight, says FG. APC names Oshomole, Odigi, Oyegun, Ganduje in Edo Guba campaign panel. Beside the picture story, ICRC attracts $8 billion investment through PPP arrangement. That's a public-private partnership. And the court rejects Rivers' request for interim stoppage of policy fund deductions. No rift in APC will remain united, says Tinubu. Ondo Health Commissioner Ade Benro passes on. Another sad one there. And I'll take this last one. Nigerian Army will remain a political professional, Buratai pledges. You can pick a copy of the Daily Times to get the details of the stories and even more.
All right, the Nation newspaper here. APC consultations begin as leaders meet Tinubu Akande. Party's caretaker extraordinary and convention committee visits Southwest. Below that, brace for rise in virus cases. Minister alerts Nigerians. Infected youth spreading COVID-19, says NCDC. That's on page 5 of the Nation newspaper. Above the nameplate, Ondo Health Commissioner dies. Kogi Agency Chief Gun. Still below that, Oshomole Oyegun in Ganduje-led campaign team. INEC displays Obaseki's Izeyamu's others forms. Edo cancels victimizing officials for refusing to join PDP. And that does it for the Nation newspaper.
And a quick look at the Nigerian Tribune shows these are following headlines. Above the nameplate, NLC kicks against new petrol pump price, demand reversal to old price, set timeline to fix refineries. You can get all of that on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune. Beside that, PDP dissolves Southwest Caretaker Committee, screens 9 aspirants for Ondo Guba primaries, and that story can be found on the page 31 of the Nigerian Tribune. We also have house rent agreement, C of O others to carry stamp duty. Check that out on page 26 of the Nigerian Tribune, and that's actually coming from FIRS. And then below the nameplate, Sambisa Forest major hindrance to routing Boko Haram. That is coming from DHQ, that's Defense Headquarters, and that story is on the page 6 of the Nigerian Tribune. And then on the page 31 of Nigerian Tribune, Ganduje Oyegun Oshomole 47 others to lead campaigns for Ize Iyamu. Buhari suspends NSITF MD 3 executive directors, and you can check that out on the page 27. The banner headline from that publication says APC Buni-led committee visit Tinubu BC Akande. You can check that out on the page 31 of the Nigerian Tribune. And still from that same publication, below the picture story, COVID-19 Ondo Health Commissioner dies. Government says 193 Al-Majurai have tested positive in Kano.
All right. Taking a look at the Daily Sun newspaper this morning. Multi-choice may not renew EPL. UEFA broadcast rights. That's on page 30 of the Daily Sun newspaper. Below that, the big headline, NLC, the paying spoil for war over fuel price hike. Oil workers give federal government 14 days to fix bad roads. Below that, many patients dying of poor medical attention, says federal government, urges MD, CMDs to sit up. That's on page 6 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And I'll take this last headline here. 2021 Guba. Again, Anambra monarchs reject zoning. That's on page 27 of the Daily Sun newspaper. And that does it for the Daily Sun newspaper this morning.
All right, let's move on to the next national daily I have on my decks here, and that is the Business Day with the banner headline: Nigerian banks bleed amid world's highest cash reserves. This central bank is headed the wrong way, ex-deputy governor. And then the inside story says, amid poor supply, Genco say 4,000 megawatts of power is rejected daily. That's actually on the page 2 of Business Day. And above the nameplate, how gas firms, Imo government exploits oil producing communities. Pick a copy of the Business Day to get the details of this and even more.
All right. That's it for the newspaper review this morning on Daybreak Africa. And we've come to the end of the program today on Daybreak Africa on television, Nigeria. My name is Mercy Joe.
And my name is Elvis Oga, and I'm saying a very big thank you for being part of the program today. On Monday, we'll be back with another bumper edition of the show.
Yes.
Until then,
it's a bye-bye from us. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Television Nigerian.